Extreme economic inequalities have widened in India over the recent past as it has in many other parts of the world. Millions are surviving without nutrition, healthcare, education, housing and employment. Extreme inequality not only hinders economic growth, but also stifles social mobility, corrupts politics, squanders talent, and jeopardizes the government's plans to create jobs in manufacturing industry through its Make in India program.
One thing that is very different when we look forward to the next 15 years compared to the last 15 is the recognition of the role that the private sector is going to play. Inequality worldwide has become as troubling for the private sector today as it is for civil society or as it is for government.
And we are encouraging corporate entities to enter the realm of sustainability in a very serious fashion. This involves not only just the ethical conduct of business, but also across the board to the supply chain, to their own employees, their commitment to foster gender equality in the corporate environment.
Without the community, you would not have customers, you would not have investors, you would not have shareholders. So without the community, business cannot survive.
First of all, we have to ensure that these corporations are legitimate, legal, ethical citizens before we can talk about a larger social responsibility. And if you look at the large number of scams that we see in the newspapers, if you look at the non-performing assets, the governor of the Reserve Bank himself is telling you, then I think because of what good are profits that are accrued through depleting the water table and destroying the environment or abusing human rights, it's of no good to nobody.
What is in the DNA of the company? Do they take into account these factors when they are designing business strategy? It's not how much you spend, 2% of your net profit. It's how you plan your business.
But what's really important now is to look at all the stakeholders that a business is responsible for, not just the immediate customers and shareholders and investors, but also going beyond that.
The law as cast in the Companies Act of Section 135 has really taken the debate back to what is given away, to what is a percentage of the overall profits. And for me, the more important aspect is how those profits have been made. All the giving in India put together currently is at 0.4% of the GDP.
I'm showing you my bona fides by saying that even though the government doesn't spend money which they raise from us very efficiently, you increase our corporate tax rate by 2%. To the Prime Minister then, Manmohan Singh, twice I said in a big meeting, I'm completely against this, sir. Don't mandate my generosity. Don't mandate my conscience. But Mr. Prime Minister, you have no choice. I said that because every MP wants this.
We are the only country in the world that is mandating this. And it came very much from the government rather than from civil society because it wasn't happening voluntarily. 1% of the world owns half the wealth. 1% owns as much as the other 99%. And in India, our 1% own 53%. So surely they are responsible for us.
And I think barring 10 or 15 companies, nobody else could complete 2% in the first year, 2014-15. So I'll have to spend almost 300 crores this year from my companies and from my trust. But that apart, having said it's not mandatory, any sensible company should take it as mandatory. That is one aspect. I'm required to do it. But the point is, even UPA government didn't know the difference between CSR and philanthropy. There's a huge difference. There are books written on CSR. So now, to comply with the Schedule 7 of that act, we spend in Bajaj Group CSR money essentially the way we spend charity money from our trust, philanthropy money. So I treat it synonymously or almost synonymously.
Personally, we would expect to see the leaders and companies who have already been doing a lot of corporate social responsibility work to do much more beyond minimum compliance.
It is completely the Wild West as far as supply chains go. There is very little accountability, they are subcontracted through very many layers, and there is no primary contractor to whom you can lay the responsibility of some accountability to the people hired or to minimum wages or working conditions. And therefore occupational safety standards, minimum wages are given the go by.
छोटे आलू से लेकर के और बड़े आलू तक किसी भी आइटम में हर चीज़ यहाँ आके बिक जाती है। और जो ये मल्टीनेशनल कंपनियां हैं, ये लोग सिर्फ और सिर्फ ए ग्रेड माल लेती हैं, बाकी जो सेकंड, थर्ड, फोर्थ ग्रेड का माल होता है वो किसान का छोड़ देती हैं, और ये लोग अपनी कंडीशन पे अपना माल खरीदती हैं।
और आज किसान जो मेहनत करता है, सही मायने में अगर देखा जाए तो किसानों को वो मेहनत का पैसा भी नहीं मिल पा रहा। एक सेब के बक्से को तैयार करने में 1 साल से जो किसान मेहनत करता है, कंपनी ने कभी भी इस बारे में नहीं सोचा कि किसान इस पे जो है कितनी अपनी लागत लगाता है, कितना उसको उचित मूल्य मिलना चाहिए। ऐसा आज तक कंपनी ने कभी नहीं सोचा, सिर्फ अपना मुनाफा है।
बड़ी कंपनियों को तो ये करना चाहिए, बड़े हॉस्पिटल खोलने चाहिए। हमारे गाँव में हॉस्पिटल नहीं है, उसकी कमी है। ऐसी जगहों पर पैसे लगाएं जो मान लीजिए प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल है, वहाँ जाते जाते मर जाता है इंसान, गरीब आदमी कहाँ से कर देगा। यही कंपनी यही सोच लेना 2% ना दे तो ऐसी चीज़ें खरीद लेना। गरीब आदमी तो अपने बलबूते पे जी रहा ना जी। कोई कंपनी या कोई अमीर आदमी किसी की मदद नहीं करता। हम तो छोटे सारे किसान हैं, हमारा डेली से काम है, हम और दूसरी काम ही नहीं करते।
Corporates, through the jobs they create, through the goods that they buy and sell, through the workers that they are hiring, through the CSR, I mean the whole package of it, have a very, very large role to play in actually creating a more equal opportunity India.
It starts with the people that you onboard into your own organization and the manner in which you try and ensure you have a diverse workforce. It extends to the work that you do with the community, with your value chain partners, your supply chain, the manner in which you interact with government. In all of those spaces, I think there is an enormous amount of influence that you can exercise that goes far beyond your immediate transactional engagement, if you will.
Managers are taught in the business schools how to make money for the promoters and the companies. They are not taught about how to organize and manage social responsibility projects. There is a paucity of managerial personnel who know how to design projects for the benefit of the company that takes into account CSR thinking.
They really need to kind of take it up more seriously as to the kind of employees that they are putting in that position, that decision-making position, because it's a very responsible role that a CSR head or a CSR manager has. He's handling funds which can do good to society, to communities, to environment. They are just picking up employees from their other functions and putting them into CSR.
SEBI had a mandate that all the listed companies, which number about 1,700 on the NSE, should at least have one woman director on their board. Less than half of the companies as of March and April 2015 had one woman director on their board. Are you telling me that in this country of 50% or more of women, you cannot find, women to be independent directors on your board? So let's start from the top, and the commitment is not even there to have a woman director, which is now mandated by SEBI and the law.
There are some things that I will get as a female employee as benefits. So we are provided with safety kits. So I'm saying everything that's doable, they're doing it. For everything where it takes to go like one extra effort or like one step ahead, 1 mile ahead, and they have to, set back and think about the entire picture.
So these inequalities are rising at a very alarming rate in the world and in India. 7 out of 10 people now live in countries where inequality is rising sharply. We have very limited equality of opportunity.
When we talk about inequality and issues like inequality, climate change or depleting natural resources, it's important to look at it beyond CSR, because these social risks are also impacting and affecting businesses.
Nobody is asking for handouts. You're really asking for giving everybody a fair share, giving everybody an equal chance in life, and doing the right thing as a good corporate citizen, of India.
The alarming rise of economic inequality is a result of deliberate policy choices on the part of businesses and the government. Can India Incorporated bridge the divide between the rich and the poor?